I turned my camera off because somebody else may appear behind me and I don't know if they're dressed up the right way for the camera.
Sure.
Okay.
So we are recording. This will be distributed all over the internet, I'm sure, at some point or another, or not. My name's Matt. I'm here to host the questions and answers with Christine and Annie for the upcoming foundation and probably an even greater envelope of questions. So welcome, ladies, and thank you for coming together to create this.
Hey, what do you mean, ladies?
And Josie.
Yes, thank you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for hosting this for us, Matt.
My pleasure. Always my pleasure. Thank you. So, Annie, do you want to tell us a little bit about you and about what this foundation is? Isn't this the first time it's been online for access?
Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Annalette May. I'm a certified facilitator, Talk to the Entities facilitator, Right Voice for You facilitator, getting my 10-second elevator speech down. So, hi everyone. Yeah, so Christine is the first ever certified facilitator that I really interacted with after I took my first bars class. And she's done amazing foundation classes, and I've been to one, and they're just amazing. So I asked her if she would like to co-facilitate a foundation class. Recently, because of the events going on all around the world, Access Consciousness has allowed us to have online foundations for the first time ever, right? In the history of since certified facilitators were able to facilitate foundation classes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we're doing this together, and we actually wanted to do this question, this Ask Anything, just to answer and not really answer, but to clear whatever is in your worlds right now and contribute to you. And it doesn't even have to do with foundation. If you have a question, we can ask for questions about it or clear or whatever's required.
Can you tell us your personal experience with entities, Annie?
That's very funny because I just hopped off a call that I was facilitating with Beings of Light and the new book. So I have a lot of experience with entities. The first thing that came up was that before my kids were born, they all spoke to me. And they asked the question, and the question was basically like, is it okay for me, like, or am I willing to step into something different? And so my kids were all conceived before I started Access. So I didn't have any awareness of what I was saying yes to or no to. I was just saying, yes, sure, that sounds great. And then, it would turn out that that was the date that the kids were conceived. And, it has nothing to do with it's just weird. And now I have an awareness of talking with entities and speaking to entities. So I actually am aware of where energetically I said yes and where it began the process of a disembodied spirit actually going into my body and me creating a body for them to come into this reality. So that's pretty interesting because I'm doing a creation with entities class in a couple of weeks. So a lot of these things have been coming to my awareness, and it's pretty cool. So that's I don't know if that's enough for you.
No, of course not. You can ask Christine. Nothing's ever enough. What sense do you receive the air? Do you see them? Do you smell them?
All. I've had entities who pass by and it smells like roses, which is pretty cool. I've seen entities moving from the corner of my eye. Sometimes I do see them like face to face. Lights, I get sensations on my body, so it's different. I hear entities, they speak to me in a different manner, like audio visual. So it's different with different entities, and you can have a wide range of how you perceive it.
Okay.
I wonder what it is for you, Yossi. And
Yeah.
you can start asking them to be more clear to you. You know, you can do it, just ask the question, or you can just kind of quiet yourself and close your eyes and ask questions to the entities to give you more clarity, like to speak louder to you and make it very obvious to you, so that you can start getting a sense of how that shows up for you, because there's no right way. Like Annie said, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So Annie,
And
can I ask
have
you
you
a question?
taken a? Oh yes, go ahead. Oh, let me just ask, Yossi, have you taken a beginnings class yet, or any introduction for
No.
Talk to the Entities?
No, but I did
Okay.
read the book from Talk to the Entity.
So
book.
there's a new book out to the Beings of Light. So that talks more about receiving from entities. So that's a great book after you've completed the first Talk to the Entities book, to really dive into all the ways you can receive and communicate with entities. So.
And we do talk about entities in Foundation for anyone else that's watching this. And because Annie has special training and experience with entities, we can go further than what's in the Foundation manual in the Foundation class.
Yeah, and oftentimes
People have
I
questions.
found that most of the people who come to Foundation with me do have an extra question regarding entities, and that's usually where they receive the greatest change. But it's different for everyone. But yeah, like one or two would like come in and they'd be like, oh wow, like the next day just say that section on entities was really what changed
And
something.
your willingness to be open to it too, because I realized the other day, not exactly when it occurred, but that my father was speaking to me, and it's very clear that it's my dad. He used to actually look on the ground and search for coins and collect the coins that he found. And on Monday, I was at a gas station, and thank you everybody for being an allowance of me traveling. I'm in the car. We've been on a road trip for a week and a half, and when we first did on this day, and our plans of course changed, so we're on the road. So if it's a little noisy, I apologize. So we were at a gas station, and I looked down and there was a penny, and often I find pennies. And I picked it up, and I always put it in my pocket, say, how does it get better than this? And later that day, I realized, oh my God, it's my father's birthday. And he was talking to me today. So it was crazy. It was crazy. And I'm not the only one in my family that finds pennies, especially. He speaks to us a lot that way. It's pretty cool.
I love that. That's so cool. And like, how aware do you have to be to actually perceive that, right? And what if everybody around has that capacity to just be aware and know when there's a being speaking? So Matt, you had a question.
Sure. You know, you and Christine almost answered them both, but you know, before I started getting any tools, I thought I was always wrong if I didn't see things. But then I started to realize that I was already very aware of entities. It just wasn't the way I decided I was supposed to do it. So can you speak to that in reference to Yossi's question? Is it like the goal to see entities, or is it different? What can you say to that? Because I thought I was wrong because I couldn't see them, but then I got rid of that point of view, and now there's all this. Is that what? Okay, here's my question: Is that do you guys go into that in the TTTE class, or how to perceive?
I just actually did a book club 2 hours ago, so Elaine was on it, and we actually touched a little bit on that. It's free. If you guys want to sign up, you can get the recording, and it'll go dive deeper into the talk to the entities, which is there's a few pages in Foundation on entities, and we can dive into that. And also at the same time, there's other resources for that. So I will say one thing. So for 90% or maybe a little bit more of entities, the goal, the target is to clear them. So there you go.
Yay, I've got
That's my
new
answer.
job.
Yes. And what are you aware of? Do you have to clear them or something different?
Do you have that link for your call? Is that something you can send out, the free book call?
Yes, I will, at the end of we'll send it to everyone.
Okay, cool. I don't want to take up the whole Zoom, so this is great. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I have another question, totally different subject. There is the word called stuck. We hear it a lot. You are stuck in one place. But I actually see it as two kinds of stuck. One that you just really don't have what you want to have, okay? Let's say you don't have enough money, and you say, okay, I'm stuck, I don't have enough money. The second one is somehow you clear the first one and now you have a lot of money. Now you say, oh, you have money that a year ago you thought it was a lot, now you have it. And you are stuck with your next question about money because you already achieved something and you say, oh, I achieved it. It's time to celebrate. It's time to enjoy it. And you don't really ask the next question. You understand what I'm talking about, Annie?
Like, what's that?
Like, what would be the next question when you did not develop a desire for the next question? You are stuck with, let's call it a lack of desire.
Then is there another question to ask, or is it just to receive from the universe?
I don't know, but you see that the progression stop, it's just stop, because you don't feel the missing of anything, and because of this you are like in the same place. Can you talk about?
Okay, so what would you have to receive?
Okay, I guess I do not express the question good enough because there is no answer coming.
Well, how much are you receiving when you're in your mind?
When I'm in my mind,
Yes. Is it a lot, a little bit, or you're so stuck in your mind that you don't even know? Or something else?
that's an interesting question. How much I'm receiving in my mind, it's mean I'm not 100% sure that you understand the question. How much do I see, imagine that or that I received, or how much I have the feeling that I received, or is that what you mean?
So receiving is not a feeling, it's not an action, it's not any of those things, it's just receiving.
So when you say receiving into my mind is like if I have I have an anxiety and now I am in peace. This is receiving in my mind.
Mhm.
Okay. I understand what you're
Is
saying.
that receiving?
That's what I was asking you. Is that what you meant when you say receiving in the mind? Because I'm not 100% sure I know what you're saying.
Yes, so I'm asking you, is that receiving?
I don't know.
Okay, and if you don't know, what do you know?
What do I know about receiving in my mind, you mean?
What do you know?
What do I know at all?
Yes,
Or
what
what
do you know about receiving? Because you just said, I don't know.
I
So every time we say, I don't know, it's not really doing anything for us. It's
okay. What I said I don't know is I don't know what you mean when you say receiving in my mind.
yes.
Okay, is that as opposed to receiving something physical?
Is that what receiving is to you? I know, it's like, it's weird, right? Asking questions. Because I'm not going to tell you how I receive. That would be defining the way that I receive. And then definition in and of itself actually stops the receiving process. Which a lot of people who are mentally, what's the word that Gary and Dane use? Mind trippers, right?
Head trippers.
What's that? Head trippers, there you go, thank you. Christine, do you have any information about head trippers?
Well, yeah, how much are we used to other people giving us the answers and not looking to ourselves for the awareness and the knowing that we have? So what Annie's saying is, if you weren't looking for an answer, or and I'm trying to go back to what your question was originally, was about what to do next. Like if it wasn't about having the answer to like the next question, like are you looking for there to be a right next step? So if there wasn't any, first of all, if there wasn't any problem first in any of this, and if you didn't have to ask a question at all, but just be with where you are, what could you receive if you didn't have an answer, or if you didn't have the right question that was next? What if what Annie's saying is, what if it's just time to be?
Okay.
And not do anything, even ask a question. So, so I'd like to do a clearing here. Everything you've made that vital, valuable, real you to
Your
be in
microphone
your
is
knowing, will you destroy and create it? Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
you are very choppy. I hear you very bad.
Very badly? Any better now?
It's choppy. I
Okay.
think you might have to say it again to get all the words, if you don't mind, Christine.
Okay. I was saying it a little choppy too. Okay, so everything you've made vital, valuable, and real about having the answers that never allow you to be in your knowing, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, right, wrong, good, bad, all name, Papak, shorts, boys, and meons. So what if when you go to, I don't know, you ask the question that Annie asked you, what do you know? Rather than looking for the answer or the right answer. What do I know about this?
When I said I don't know, I meant I did not understand the expression receiving in the mind as different than something else, which I don't know what is this something else. When you say receiving, I understand the word. But you say, so there are many kind of receiving, and I thought maybe she means that I like receive in my mind. Let's say I see something I want, I receive it first in my mind, and later it's come to the physical world. Maybe that's what she meant.
Well, is that how you create?
Usually that's how I create, yes. I see something I
Then
want,
it's
and then I say, okay, what will I take to bring it here? And then an hour later or a year later, it's here. Yeah. It's usually the way I see.
okay. Then is there any problem at all?
Okay, so I saw Gary Douglas. He have a story about a woman that was trying to put an ad for foundation class, and she got 10 students. And she said, oh, great, I have 10 students. I'm so happy, something like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, you should have said, how can it get better than this? Because if the moment you are happy with what you got, then you don't continue. And actually, he said that the next, she had some cancellations. So I'm talking about this point when things look like they're happy, and I may stop there, but I don't stop there and just be happy for a while. But I understood all your answers, and it is satisfied. So you can continue to other questions.
Okay, cool. So how does it get any better than that? Do you see what I did there?
Anyone have another question? It's Ask Annie and Christine anything.
Sure, I have a question, Annie or Christine. So, you know, Yossi mentioned a question early in the conversation, which was, when I get to the point where I'm happy with where I'm at, what do I ask next? I paraphrased it a little bit, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Speak to that.
There's always, how does it get any better than this?
Yeah.
Or one of my favorite questions is, what question can I ask now? Or what question can I ask that would create more? Or what question can I ask that would change this? So you don't have to know and have a perfect question. What if just asking that changes things?
That's a good one.
So, Christine, are you saying one question could open doors to more questions?
Absolutely. And
Thank you.
so when, as we continue to use these tools, we, when we first learn, ask a question rather than coming to a conclusion, we physically ask questions, right? I mean, whether it's just in our head or out loud, we ask questions. And eventually you just become the question. And so I wonder how much some of you or all of you are at times in the question, just being the question rather than asking the question.
Mhm.
I have a
good.
question. Oh, sorry. May I? I have a 3-year-old and he's filled with why, where, how, you know. And in the beginning, I would just say, gee, I wonder why that man's pulling out that tool, or, you know. And he just said, I want you to talk about it, because he wants to know. So of course I got a little bit caught in his explaining, and I'm a teacher, so hey, I love to share, right? So I love that this could work with kids, though. You know, I know you've worked with kids, Christine. So how would you, what's your words of any indication of how to work with a 3-year-old who wants to know everything going on in the world? And I love the wonder. I love him trying to figure it out himself, because he's had answers that I hadn't thought of, which, like you said, how can it get better than that, right? But I'd love you to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. A question I love is, what do you know about this?
Oh,
Ask
there
him,
you go.
well, what do you know about this? And it's okay to give him what you know too, and let him know that that's how you see it, or what you know, and what do you know that I don't know, to empower him to tap into that, because that's not the way we tend to teach kids, right? It's give them the answers. These are the right answers. Got to follow this path. And you, as a different type of mother, when you ask him questions, you start to empower him to be in that, and grow that muscle that he obviously already has, because he's already curious and has all these insights into different things. And just you acknowledging him too in that knowing.
What do you know about this? Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. And Annie's got 3 little boys, so she may have 3 amazing little boys, by the way. So what do you have, Annie?
Well, the youngest one kind of just, he's actually the one who facilitates me. So, yeah, I ask questions, and I just be the space for them to know what they know and do what they do, and really be who they're being. How much more do they know? Yeah.
Can you give me an example of a situation where you might just do that, just so I can visualize it? If that's not too much to ask.
One of the times when he facilitated me was actually, he's 2 years old. He came over. I'm speaking to someone on the phone. It was it was actually another facilitator that I was working with, and he just said something, and I was like, I was speaking to this facilitator. He lives in India, and I said, "Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said?" And like we both burst out laughing, because it was just the correct thing to say at that moment, to get us to an awareness of where we were bringing our business and where it needed to head. And then after he said that, he just went away and did his own thing. So if I was not aware and not open to receiving whatever facilitation he had, my son, I'd just be like, hey, go away. I'm on a call right now. Okay, I'm doing some business. But because of the way I be with my kids and allow them and receive them. I was able to hear what he had to say, and it contributed to our conversation.
That's beautiful.
So that's what happened.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think that's a great example, because so often we want them to behave a certain way, and it has to look this way when they're around adults. And if you're open to everything beyond what you have decided that they can know, right? Like in your conversations with him, you're acknowledging his being, and also when he's not, not behaving, right? He's acting up, as they say in this reality. What if even in those times, he has some kind of awareness that you're not aware of? So for instance, like often when kids act up, and I'm just using this reality's language, when they act up, they're actually aware of something. So, and in this morning, I was thinking about this in relationship to everybody being home and homeschooling their kids, and all the, stress that parents are under. When we're stressed, and when we're upset about something, they are perceiving that. So they may be acting out at those times too. So what if you can use your child for more information about what's going on for you, or maybe what's going on with somebody else that's around him or not even around him? What could he be aware of about his grandmother, or what's going on in the world that you can acknowledge?
Thank you, both of you. I will say that he said to me right when this pandemic started, he said, "Mommy, are you broken?" I said, "Yeah, I am a little bit broken." He gave me a hug. It was just like you say, a very sweet awareness he had. Who was I to deny it? We all felt a little broken, right? At least I'll speak for myself. So.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
I do believe that a 2-year-old doesn't know what is a telephone. So if he heard the mommy talk, he believes she's talking to him. So
I missed the first part of what you said, that if you hear a 2-year-old talk, he doesn't know the mom's not talking.
If he heard his mommy talking on the phone, he doesn't know what is a phone. So anybody in the room, he is in the room with one other person, he thinks that the other person is talking to him. That's a possibility.
And what if he's aware of way beyond that too?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could always go and invalidate all the kids all the time. I'm sure nobody was invalidated when they were kids, right?
Annie, would you say that again?
I'm sure nobody. I'm sure nobody on this Zoom was ever invalidated as a kid, even by their parents who loved them so very much. Not even once.
Nah, couldn't be.
Okay, so everywhere we've been invalidated as kids, and we thought that was the correct and only way to deal with kids. Would we please just try and create that, please? Times the Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop,
Yes.
just voicing the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've always thought that I was a wrongness my entire childhood, right? Because I was born out of wedlock, I think, and I was the one who destroyed families because my dad left his family and all his other kids to be and to raise me. And then I had to live with them when they were teenagers, and I was always abused and beaten up and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, like I always thought I was wrong. And so when I became a mother, I wanted to make sure that I healed that part of me. I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. Nobody on here is wrong. And also, okay, how can I empower my kids instead so they never have to feel wrong? And what if everybody just knows what they know and it's different, and what you know might be different from what I know, and we all have our different realities coexisting next to each other, and it's all right.
And I want to comment on this because those of you that haven't known Annie for a long time, I mean, I haven't known her for a whole long time, but a few years. And through using these tools of access, Annie is a totally, totally different person. It's a totally different person. So for her to come on and be doing these Zooms and facilitating access classes and being seen the way she's being seen now is a huge, huge change. So I just want to acknowledge you, Annie, in making that choice for you and for your family, and acknowledge the tools of access, what change they can create in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
And Annie's not the only one. I mean, I've seen people take these tools, and it's a choice how you use them, whether you use them. And when you do use them, they create so much change, a visible change in people. And with this class foundation, I've been facilitating for, I don't know, about 12 years maybe. I've been using the tools for about 14 and a certified facilitator for about 12. And the changes that I've received, not just in one foundation, but every foundation I facilitate or take, when I take the Global Foundation, I receive change. And it could be, you know, I'm facilitating a certain section of the manual and I have these aha moments, even though I've facilitated this specific part of the manual before, maybe many times, I get more out of it every time that I facilitate it or be part of the class.
Yeah. It's so amazing. The tools seem so simple. And really they're the more it's funny because I just took an ESB, which is a class you can take after foundation. It just ended on Monday. And Dane talked about saying all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, which is in foundation and in bars. And just using that tool, like saying it 100 times before you go to sleep. And he's like, it really does change everything. And that's just one tool. You receive like so many tools in that one class in foundation. So it's really awesome.
And I want to give like a shameless plug to watching both of you through the years and through your processes. Annie, a shorter one than Christine, because Christine and I have known each other for 11 years. And just watching, they continually are not the same person they were the last time I saw them. I'm just like, whoa, what? I don't even recognize you, Christine. You're like, you have a sense of space where I can't even define you. And before there was attention, you know, or whatever. And it continues to change and change. And like, Annie, you're such a absolute healer of the planet. But I'm watching her just in the last couple of months, and she's not cutting off all those parts of herself. She's just healing herself too now. And so these tools allow you to, it's not about let's get all the bad parts of me, cut them off and throw them in the trash can. It's like the tools help you get rid of the judgment you have of you so you can just be you, because that's who you are. So a huge round of applause. Thank you both for like being so courageous to actually step up to being these leaders of the planet. We so need it. And women really are creating our future. Like, how much more than women have ever done in all of history. You guys are like the warriors with the machetes, but
Wow.
you don't just cut everybody's head off. You're like, I'll let him keep his head. I think he'll change in the future. Cool, because I'm being aware, because I went to the TTTE class and I know shit. Oh, yep, that person doesn't need their head, thinks too much, chop. Okay. But in doing it, like, to get this sense of like no judgment.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's not all about cutting heads off. Don't get me wrong. I just use that as one of many examples. So if I could wrap this up, thank you guys for making this possibility available for some of us who may still be stuck in stuff. And we're just like, I want me. I want to be me, change the world. So thanks.
And, we would love you to join us for our foundation class. And whether you do or not, you have tools. If you've done any access, you have tools. Just like Annie said, you have all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory from the BARS manual. And that is my go-to every single day. And then if you take in foundation, you have a lot of tools. So it's your choice to use them or not use them. It's your choice to have ease with life or not have ease with life. You can have ease in every area of your life if you choose.
My point of view is that I would like my head connected to my body. So I hope nobody's coming to chop it off. And I'll be careful.
Sorry, Yossi. I didn't mean the women are going to cut all the men's heads off. That may be a big point of view that's in the world now. So Pak and Pod that? Can we Pak and Pod that?
Well, usually we blame them to cutting off something else.
Yes. Well,
Yes. So all energies means that you also keep that ability to cut off whatever Yossi was referring to. That's my funny joke of the day.
that was pretty funny. So we can put all our parts back on in foundation?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, wow.
You can be all of you. All of you. The funny, the gross, the cool, the creator of magnitude, everything.
So who's got any other questions that are just like burning a hole in you and you're like, I've got to ask this. Oh my God. Does anybody have any of those?
Okay, I will ask another question.
Yes.
I'm just going to say goodbye before I have to leave, but very nice seeing you. Thank you so much. And I wish you all very well.
Bye, Becky. Thanks for
Bye.
being on our
Thanks.
call.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Nice to
Becky.
see you. Yes. Bye-bye, guys.
So sometime in the access, we hear we expand ourselves. We hear, you are in your body and now expand yourself to the room, expand yourself to New Jersey, expand yourself to Nicaragua, whatever. What do you actually do when you expand yourself? What do you do? Somebody tell you expand yourself to over behind your body. What do you do when you hear this instruction?
Christine, do you wanna?
Matt, do you want to answer?
Well,
Go ahead.
no, I was just asking who's going to answer this one, Annie or Christine? I'm excited to hear a new angle here.
Well, for me, it's not a doing. I mean, I used to think it was a doing, and I'd be like, all right, I have to close my eyes and I have to imagine this. And then the more I just relaxed, the more it just occurs. So what if, again, we get out of our head? What if it's not about a doing or a head thing or a visualization? And I'm not saying you can't do that visualization, because it did give me some sense of it in the beginning of expanding out. And when I do energy pulls, I might say expand out 100 miles in all directions and visualize a bubble expanding out. So if that contributes to you expanding out, then do that. And it can just be like that. Like, all right, so someone says expand out, and what if you just, that occurred because somebody put it into your awareness and you received it and you expanded. So right now, would you just expand out and expand out and expand out, drop your barriers, all your walls that you have, to receiving this, to allowing it, everywhere you're trying to figure it out, when you destroy and uncreate it, right, wrong, good, bad, all name, papak, shorts, boys and beyonds, and just keep expanding out and expanding out and expanding out, and just allow it. And how is it for you? I mean, what works for you in expanding?
You asking me? Oh,
I'm asking, there doesn't have to be an answer. I'm just putting it out there for you. Like, is there something that you know that gives you a sense of expansion?
because I think that what I do is what you said, imagine myself. Yeah, I imagine that the energy going, I usually imagine it like a light. I like light. So I imagine that I'm full of light. I'm like converting my body to a light, and then the entire room is a light, the entire universe is on light. I put, but you're saying that this is actually I am limiting myself by doing that. Is that correct?
It can be a limitation if we just keep ourselves in that box of that visualization. And if it works for you right now, then you
We totally don't hear you now.
go up. Okay. Annie, you want to say something?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, what Christine was saying was that what if that works for you now? And can you be open to it being different the next time you do it? And then different the next time you do it? And different the next time you do it? And continually allow it to start becoming something different. So you're not defining it and keeping it into, this is how I meditate and this is how I expand my awareness and this is how it has to be every single fucking time. Sorry, I cursed. Oh my gosh, I usually don't curse.
Why don't you curse?
She doesn't have a fucking potty mouth. I'm just joking. Just joking. I don't know. I never say fuck or shit or any of that stuff either. I'm just, so I notice when people do. I'm gonna be quiet.
I have to pot and pot myself. I'm like turning red. Okay,
Hey.
see? CFs are not perfect. We are not perfect.
Well, often when people curse, that it's because there's judgment of cursing somewhere. So there's someone that has judgment of cursing
On the call.
on the call,
Right.
or in the future.
Who's fucking judging my potty mouth? Just raise your hand. I'm joking. But like Christine's saying, when someone's in judgment, it like stops energy and you have to put yourself in a box. So it's truly just another tool to be not the effect of anything anyone says, and then you can like receive it.
Okay.
Hey, Yossi, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
have you ever like been in nature, gone on a day hike, or where you just like we're like, wow, I feel so relaxed?
To begin with, if I ever went on a hike for a day, I would say thousands days, okay?
Yeah.
I'm actually walking out every day, but for a few hours. But if you're taking like trips, of course. My education was on foot.
Mhm.
So Israel is a small country, and from the moment I was able to walk, I walk all over the country. But
Great.
I relaxed right now and right here too. So it's, it's, it's not, it's, as far as I know, okay? Sometimes maybe I'm not aware, but usually I am relaxed, almost 99% of the day. So,
Well,
I,
not to speak directly to your story, but like you, I enjoy being in nature also. And like when I realized I didn't have to be in nature, but when I expanded out, it was a lot like being in nature. That kind of answered a lot of those same questions you're asking. What is this expand out thing? So, I
okay,
mean, it may apply to you or it may not, but I thought I'd,
okay.
put it out there.
As I said, when I say expand, I saw it until now as imagine you're expanding, okay? And it's really easy for me to imagine I'm expanding. As you say, I would lead people in imagination into the park, into the forest, into the beach, when I do my own sessions. And I found it easy for me and and easy for my clients when I say imagine it. I don't say put yourself in the beach. I say imagine you. That's expression I always use. And right now I see that there is another alternative, which is something to explore.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. So something came up. I don't know if this will be a contribution. Actually, I don't even know if I can talk about it. VBRs. How does that work with imagination? I think that's a Gary question. Matt, do you have any information? I always pick Matt's brain for information.
Sure. Well,
He's so full of information. I love it.
I am so full of it sometimes. Oh yeah. So what if all the things that you decided were like vital and valuable and real? I mean, what if just for a minute they were lies? And they were actually just like being in a video game, a VVR, a virtual vibrational reality. Like, have any of you guys played video games or watched your kids play video games with like great avarice? They're like, this is awesome. I hate my family. I'd rather play a video game, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes those VVRs, those little virtual realities seem like more real than anything we want to receive here. So when you get rid of them, this kind of ties into Yossi's conversation too. When you just let them go, you pock them, pot them, how much do you start receiving the grander possibilities of this reality? Like, you're like, wow. And your body starts like breathing, and your being starts communing, and your business starts making money, and you're like, okay, I can do this. I don't have to live in the video game anymore, but I will sometimes when it's fun, instead of you know, resisting and reacting. Did
Instead
that
of
speak?
making, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
did that speak to
exactly.
the energy you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So I was doing like 14 things and I wasn't sure if I did the right thing, Annie.
Oh, yes, it might also be the wrong thing, but that's
Okay.
okay. Can you have fun with it?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
have fun with it? Yeah.
I
Right.
see it as a hologram, what you said, not really. Okay,
Yeah.
and I say, look at it, okay, well, this is hologram. And I also say to myself, where did this hologram came from? And I said, I created this hologram. And I'm looking and say, well, this hologram, specific hologram, I don't really need anymore. And just throw it to the ground, it's broken into pieces. I don't see this, what was there anymore. It's something I sometimes practice.
Mm. Yeah, and if it works, then that's what works for you.
Yeah, sometimes it does, yes.
Yes. How does it get any better? So how long is this? I thought it was 1 hour, and it's
Actually, it was
we
originally
did we did.
45 minutes, and
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, we were a little bit late because it was my fault. I was wrong. I double booked myself, triple booked myself. I'm just kidding.
Well, on the same note, I'm the administrator for the Zoom, so I'll have to close this up. But is there any last minute questions or comments you guys would like to get in on the Zoom, about the foundation, about life and living, about meditating in the wilderness, in your mind, anything, any of these things are cool. They're all no point of view and we can change them with these tools.
I want to thank everybody and appreciate all of you. A special thank to Christine that facilitated my foundation class. And I love you all, and bye-bye.
Thank you, Yossi. We're so grateful to have you on the Zoom today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
One last thing. If anyone wants to get the Beings of Light replay, or you want to know more about the foundation, can you put your email in the Zoom chat so we can send those directly to you? And the email chat is here. Ping, ping, ping. If you click on that little bubble that pops up in your screen, see that bubble? Was that fun, right? Then you can just write your email address in there and we'll send it out to you. Anybody have any jokes? Elaine, do you have like a good family joke? While we wait for all the emails to flood in.
Really bad with jokes.
You don't. No.
No.
Sometimes family is joke free. Whoa. Okay.
Well, what's that coronavirus joke you always tell?
Oh, sounds good. I want to hear it.
I just said it in my head and I can't stop now. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, everyone. Thanks again. Will we provide a replay on this? Mm-hmm.
Sure. And just for those of you, we'd love to have you. If you'd like to join us for the foundation, it's Monday to Friday next week. I think that's the 18th to the 22nd from 1 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we're doing 5 days, shorter days. And I wonder what else is possible. If you've never done an online class of that length, I've done live streams before, but the first online of this nature, I did the CF class in March and then COP, and I really was amazed at how present you can be with an online class and the change that can occur when everybody's online. It's pretty cool. I really was very surprised personally.
Yeah, thanks for that, Christine. Yeah, exactly. So we've got the links in the Zoom chat if you need more information. And how does it get any better than this? Maybe we'll see you face to face soon on Zoom. I wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. Damn it.
Great. So bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you for
guys.
joining us.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.